As a quick precursor to this episode, I would love to invite you to attend the autumn edition of my in-person event, Dare Greatly in the Coaching Arena, which will be held on Friday the 8th of November in Barnes, southwest London. It's a 5-minute walk from Barnes Station, and there's also a free car parking place on site. So it's the best of both worlds. We will be preparing and planning for your best ever 2025, and you will leave with that vision and strategy for your next 12 months with a newfound sense of connection and focus. We will be harvesting your present and planting the seeds for a profitable and joyful 2025, allowing your business goals to bloom with ease. I'm very excited to be bringing the warmth of the season and all of those beautiful colours and everything we can learn from shedding what no longer serves us and preparing for spring. Embrace the seasons of change and join me on 8th of November to Dare Greatly in the Coaching Arena. Do not worry if you don't know anyone. I will ensure that you feel welcome from the moment you arrive until the moment you leave. I cannot wait to see you there, and grab the link now in the show notes. Hello and welcome to Women in the Coaching Arena podcast. I'm so glad you're here. I'm Lott, a business mentor and ICF accredited coach, and I help coaches to build brilliant businesses. I know that when you prepare to enter the arena, there is fear, self-doubt, comparison, anxiety, uncertainty, shame. You can tend to armor up and protect yourself from vulnerability. In this podcast, I'll be sharing honest, not hype, practical and emotional tools to support you to make the difference that you're here for. Dare greatly, you belong in this arena. Welcome to episode 41 of Women in the Coaching Arena. I am so glad you are here. Today, I'm excited to talk about something slightly different than I normally talk about on this podcast. So it's about maximizing your impact and how you can scale and leverage your coaching and expertise. This is pretty much how I run my business, because my goal is to help 1 million coaches to successfully grow their business and make the most of their coach training. Just slightly ambitious. So if I am acting in accordance with my goal, then I need to have a leverage model, which is what I do have, a group program to help as many people as I can to do this. This means a lot to me because there are so many coach training organizations churning out coaches who have absolutely no idea that it's actually going to take quite a lot of work after that qualification to grow their business. So I'm on a mission to help more coaches to actually sell their coaching and actually get to do the work that they have trained for. Obviously, it's a transformational journey. It helps you with your own self-awareness, and there are so many other benefits. But if you do go into it wanting to set up a coaching business, I really want to help more people to actually do that and be aware that this might actually take a small bit of work. So if we're thinking about why you might want to scale and leverage your business, maybe you have a big goal to help as many people as you possibly can. I think many of us have learned a lesson in life, perhaps, and we want to share our learnings from that lesson so no one else has to suffer. It's a bit like when you hear really terrible instances happen in people's lives and they dedicate their entire life to campaigning so that more people don't have to go through what they went through. And I think a lot of coaches want to do that. That's certainly why I do this work, because you're essentially saving your former self, creating what you wish you had. There may be other reasons why you want to move to this model. Maybe you have really limited time, like I do. I work school hours only, term time only. So you do have really short amount of time in your day. By the time you've done your marketing and all your things, it's something that you have to balance alongside your work. So let's start with 2 pivotal words that I would love you to think about if this is your goal going forward. So those 2 words are scale and leverage. These aren't just buzzwords. They are the cornerstones of transforming your coaching business into one that can help as many people as possible in the most effective way. So, what do they mean in the context of coaching or knowledge based businesses? It's about expanding your capacity to be able to sell more clients without a proportional increase in your workload. Scaling is about expanding your capacity to serve more clients without a proportional increase in your workload. And leverage, on the other hand, is about utilizing your existing resources. That might be your intellectual property or systems that you have created. So, in this episode, we will talk about how you can maximize your output and efficiency. Starting with your coaching capacity, let's say, for argument's sake, you have a capacity of 10 clients, and that is your limit given the hours that you have with your current one-to-one model. But what if you could reach not just 10 clients, but 100 clients? Imagine the impact that you could have, not just on your business, but on the lives of those additional clients. This is where scaling and leverage come into play. This is something I'm working on a lot at the moment because I do run a group program. So I have a scalable program, but in all honesty, it does currently require a lot of my energy in order to give my clients the best results. And so I'm constantly working on how I can improve my processes while still providing the knowledge, love, care for them to be seen, heard, celebrated, championed. All of that is super important for me. So it's something I'm working on a lot at the moment. And I'm excited that yesterday I had quite an exciting conversation with someone that may be really pivotal in my future program, because I don't want to create a lost in the crowd program, because there are a lot of them out there where you will sign up and you won't know anyone and you won't feel like a valued part of that community. But if I want to continue my mission, which I do, then I need to think long and hard about how I can bring in the elements that are super important to me and create a scalable way of doing them. So, a really simple example is that I currently order lots of little gifts to send my clients. I order personalized cards, and then I order the envelopes, and then I handwrite the label, and then I go down to the post office and post them this lovely package. But eventually, I really need to have a company that I can say, here are 5 people's names and addresses, instead of it being me taking my time and energy to do that task. Personalization is my value that I want in my business, which is why I'm at this point now where I need to consider how I can continue to offer the personalized time, energy, thought, love, care that I want in my business, but with other people supporting me to automate some of the things I do, the gifts being a perfect example. So let's talk about strategies for scaling. To scale your coaching business, you really need to rethink your delivery model. So how can you transform your one-to-one coaching into a one-to-many model? This might include creating online courses that people can do at their own pace, or a group coaching. Or there are other models like the membership model, where it's a lower cost, but they get the training and a little bit of support, but usually it's not as extensive as a group program. So we need to think about how you can package your knowledge and expertise up in a way that's accessible and valuable to a larger audience. Let's move on to the power of leverage. So, leverage is making your existing assets work harder for you. This might be in your marketing. So, for example, I create this podcast, and what I do to leverage the podcast, the energy I'm putting in now, is I ask my VA to turn this podcast into a blog post. She also turns it into a LinkedIn article. So that's 2 extra things I've done with my podcast. I also now use my podcast to create all of my social media posts. So that is how you can leverage what you are currently doing to really multiply the impact. I could go way further. For example, I could add this to YouTube. I can create short reels from what I'm saying and sound bites. So it's about constantly thinking, okay, I'm putting all this energy into this. How can I make the most of it? This could be automation. So things like the best emails that you've ever sent to your list. How can we bring those into your nurture sequence? How can we have standardized processes when someone signs up to work with you? How can we really help things be seamless so it doesn't take your time and energy again and again? Let's move into the practical steps now to scale and leverage. What are those practical steps that you can take right now? I would start by assessing your current offerings, seeing if you have anything already that can be adapted for a larger audience. Maybe you have a really popular coaching session or program. Maybe you have a great way of helping people find their strengths or their values. Can you create a webinar or a short course? If we're looking at your processes, where can you automate or delegate tasks? Remembering that if this is your goal, every decision you make from now on should be filtered through this lens of scale and leverage. Instead of replying to a client once with, "Yay, I'm so glad you're joining the program," you can have a template that you can use time and time again. So we can eventually automate that entire process so you can help more people in less time. So as we wrap up today's episode, I would love to leave you with this thought. Scaling and leveraging aren't just about growing your business. They are about multiplying your impact. This is why I do this work. It's not really about growing my business. It's just this complete mission to help more coaches to create amazing coaching businesses. Thank you for listening to today's episode. I will leave you with my favorite reminder to trust yourself, believe in yourself, and be the wise gardener who keeps on watering the seed. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Women in the Coaching Arena. I have a mass of free resources on my website, joannalottcoaching.com. That's Joanna with an A and Lott with 2 T's, joannalottcoaching.com. And I'll also put links in the show notes below. Let me know if you found this episode useful, share it with a friend and leave me a review, and I will personally thank you for that. Remember to trust yourself, believe in yourself, and be the wise gardener who keeps on watering the seed. Get into the arena, dare greatly,